What is up, everybody, NC?
JC and
We are back with the news. And on this news, as you may have seen from the thumbnail, Triple H basically just threw shit on a paper, and that's what you get. But notice this is what Triple H did: is he left Wyatt Six off of TV for the longest time. Did nothing with them for WrestleMania, even though most of them were medically cleared and ready to go. Did nothing with them for the longest time, but this fucker waited for Bray Wyatt's birthday to pull this shit off on a random SmackDown. Couldn't have done it at a PLE, couldn't have done it at a big show, couldn't have done it at a big event, at a random SmackDown just because it's Bray Wyatt's birthday. This is the type of shit that he knew the nerds would go, oh, he knew that they would do that. And so he's like, this is a perfect opportunity to get a cheap pop. And that's what he did. He got a shitty cheap pop, and where this is going to go from here, it's going to go to shit. Because really all he had to do was pander to the Bray Wyatt lovers with a cake and Bo returning to TV with the crew. That's all he had to do. I mean, will Alexa eventually join with them? At this point, I don't want her to. Just because this crew is so fucking embarrassing at this point. And he's not going to go anywhere from here. It's just going to be, Wyatt Six is just going to be another random jobber tag team in his mix of jobber tag team stables, with eventually one of them doing, or both of them, or maybe all of them doing friendship and betrayal on each other, because Triple H knows no other way. Every stable and every tag team has to break up at least once. So,
well, we've seen the first go around with the Wyatt Six and how that went. The problem with it is that the storytelling that it needs, like, they can do it with those vignettes and those video packages, but you can't do that all the time. And so Triple H, when it comes down to it, is not going to know how to seamlessly connect that fantasy world with with wrestling and have it be exciting. Because the last time that they were on, it was being hated on by even fans that were, that were supporting Triple H, were like, yeah, this booking fucking sucks. And they were right, because it did fucking suck. And we were right about it the last time, and we'll be right about it again. It's not going to it's not going to be anything great because of the person who's booking it.
well, that's the thing too, is like, even back in the day when Bray Wyatt first returned back to TV and he did that sobbing bitch fourth wall breaking story that he did, they just really ruined a lot of his credibility. Back when he did that, he had his own writer like working with him in creative, and apparently this writer is still working with creative. So there should have been some shared vision on where to go with Wyatt Six, especially when you have Bo Dallas, Bray's own brother, who really was supposed to be a big part of the storyline. When even you have him in there and they can't make it good with any of their creative input, that tells me that Triple H he either is not letting any of these decent ideas make it to TV, or these ideas aren't decent at all. I'm leaning more towards they're not decent at all, just because of the fact that all they really had back in the day when Bray first returned was QR codes. It's all flash and glimmer and nothing more than that. It's all a magic show that they have no follow-up on. And it has happened so many times. It happened with the QR codes. It happened with Bray Wyatt breaking the fourth wall. It happened with just the failure of the story where they had with the Wyatt Six, and they never followed it up. And then they tried to follow it back up with the VHS tapes, but then dropped that out of nowhere. And then they had them brought to TV for a little bit and beat up Chad Gable and a bunch of other people, and then those people mysteriously came back to TV. They were fake killed for a week, and now they're fine, It's all good now. So there were so many drops all the time. Another one too was when they first had the Wyatt Six come in with these like fake puppet characters, and they had the spotlights in the crowd. They've never known what the fuck to do with this shit. The closest that it's ever had any sort of identity is when Bray Wyatt was doing the Firefly Funhouse. Besides that, none.
Well, and the reason why is there's no direction.
Yeah.
Like, they have it's like a lot of like disjointed, disconnected ideas that aren't fitting easily together. And to make it even worse, the person who's running creative does not see, he sees wrestling through a wrestler A versus wrestler B in a wrestling ring for a certain amount of time. He does not see the grander overall scheme of things, like when it comes to like, especially like larger than life storytelling, like the Firefly Funhouse and that kind of thing. Like, and like veterans in the business may hate that shit, but at the end of the day, look, it fucking makes money. And so you got to be able to know how to tell that story. And like WWE has no excuse, even under Triple H, because they have the writers that could tell the story. But what's happening is that everything is going through the Triple H filter, and Triple H is filtering out shit that he does not understand. And so what you end up with is he turns the Wyatt Six into just a faction that wrestles matches and not telling a greater story of like how they're avenging Bray Wyatt and specifically what they're doing. There's no, it's just meaningless at the end of the day. They're just wrestling because that's what Triple H knows. And so like that's why Triple H is not the guy to be running this. He almost has to like delegate that. Okay, well, I don't know how to book that, so I'm gonna leave that off to the writers. No, but he doesn't do that because everything has to go through Triple H. So we, the fans, and even Wyatt Six, they pay the price.
Well, there was just so many inconsistencies that they didn't follow up on. I mean, for one, VHS tape. Nobody has a fucking VHS tape player anymore, dude. I don't know if that's trying to add to the spooky factor or any of that, but at the same time, nah. If anything, just put it on a USB card. If anything, that's just as creepy. But it's just it's a circumstance where with the Wyatt Six, they left so much on the table with those videotape vignettes that they were doing. I was looking forward to a backstory on all of them, on what led them to being crazy and adopting these new monikers and following Bo Dallas as a cult leader. There was a lot of story, a lot of lore just left on the table that the fans would have loved to eat up. They would have loved to really take in, especially these Bray Wyatt fans, because they've really been left out ever since he passed away. And then you let Wyatt Six momentum completely just dive bomb, didn't do jack shit with him, and now it's his birthday, you're gonna bring him back? What you gonna do after this point? You're gonna fail again, Triple H, because that's what you do best.
And that's the whole like that's where they really fucked up too, is they didn't give the characters any purpose. They're just there. Like what they should have done is they should have debuted it off the get-go. You show Bo Dallas at Bray's funeral, and you see it like how it affects him, and then how he's unraveling, and then he needs to go see a psychologist, and then you see him slowly lose his mind more and more and more, and then he embodies the thing that tortured his brother to then take vengeance on the people that hurt Bray Wyatt, because at least the character would then have purpose. But now these characters, they have no purpose, which is why the fans don't care, and which is why the reaction to them is like, yeah, it's like an instant pop, but then it's going to be like, eh.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, Bray Wyatt's birthday, Wyatt Six, so heartwarming. Next.
Yeah, and that's the problem that we've seen with Triple H over and over and over again, is that he does not do vignettes very often, or I'd say very often he does not do vignettes. What he'll do is he'll just take the characters, just throw them out on TV, and that's what he did with the Wyatt Six. Like they would, okay, I take that they were doing the video packages, but they just threw them out on TV all at once. They didn't introduce them over time. They didn't give them their each little back. They did. I take it back. They did give them their own little backstory, but after the fact, that's where they fucked up.
But it was like two people. What did they do? They did
Yeah.
Bo and Eric Rowan, and then we never got anything on Dexter Loomis. From what I can remember, we never got anything on Nikki Cross. Maybe they put it out there and I didn't see that episode. But we didn't get a backstory on everybody else that was in the stable. And I feel that's really important too, especially with a group like this. And even who's the sixth member? That's a lot of mystery there. People can say the spirit of Bray Wyatt. Why can't you have him doing a seance? Bringing in the spirit of Bray Wyatt. That's right up the occult alley of WWE and right in line. Now, it's against what I would book, but it's something that I could definitely see an occult fuck like Triple H doing. So, I don't know why they haven't gone that route yet. Them summoning the spirit of Bray Wyatt. It's right there. You got the lamp that's possessed by his spirit.
Because they don't understand it. It's like he does not feel comfortable booking something that he does not understand. And so as fans who want to see more to this, you're going to be left wanting, as you were the first time, because we know, and we can say this confidently because we've seen Triple H's booking for over a decade. We know what he does. We know how he books. With this, he's not going to know how to book fantasy story. Like the most he ever did before this was Cheon Shaw, and that fucking went nowhere.
Well, and keep in mind, too, that was something that him and Shawn Michaels collaborated on. That was never an original Triple H brainchild. If you want to take a look at an original Triple H brainchild where he's actually trying to do something crazy, Sanity was it. Sanity was basically him trying to make a crazy anarchist stable in WWE. So he saw the work that Eric Young was doing over in TNA. He even admits he was a huge TNA fan. So he saw that. He's like, okay, I got this crazy guy, Eric Young. He's the cult leader. And then I got this big fat hairy dude, Big Damo. He's like the muscle. And then I got this little cheery, scrappy dude chick, but we're going to make her evil. And she's going to be Nikki Cross. And that was really his I can make a crazy stable, or so he thought. It was honestly one of the biggest ball drops, and it got shoved down our throat.
It really was, and the fact that he's never tried to do it again. So like, and what he did is he went back to what he knew with Nikki Cross, rather than do the superhero gimmick. He went back to crazy Nikki Cross because it's just what he knows.
Well,
So
because he never made Nikki Ash. That was a Vince McMahon creation. So he's like, fuck that. I didn't make that, so we're not going to see that. And even here's the crazy thing too, for those that don't remember, when Nikki Cross first debuted over in NXT, she had a gimmick that was very similar to the Nikki Ash character. She was happy, she was bubbly. It represented her true personality, and I think that's why she got over so much as the Nikki Ash character. With this Nikki Cross character, it's so fake, it's so inauthentic, and even more so as this fucking Ring ripoff character. Like, there's no authenticity to her whatsoever. I cannot buy her as a legit crazy person. She, especially after that trans post, you take April Fools and you break character to show trans awareness. You're a real hero. Great job.
I mean, let's just be totally honest. Even if you're a Bray Wyatt fan out there and you're seeing us react to the Wyatt Six and you may be hating it, let's just ask yourself this question: if this faction had nothing to do with Bray Wyatt, would you give two shits? If it didn't feature Bo Dallas or any of these other people, would you give two shits about this? They'd be shitting all over this, and rightly so.
Well, I think they would have a little bit of respect for Bo, because that's how it is. Whenever a wrestler dies, you have to, like, even if you didn't like them, you have to put them over as this fan base, and if you do anything against that, they will come after you. They're very crazy about that shit. But with Bo, it's hard to take him seriously as a cult leader, because I've never seen him have a big run. You gotta keep in mind too, like, we are used to seeing Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel as a goofball tag team. We're not used to seeing Bo Dallas as a cult leader and a possible main eventer. This is some Cody Rhodes Stardust shit right here.
Just for me, like the where I'm having a hard time getting invested in them is just that there's no purpose. Like, what is their purpose? What is their goal? What is their aim? Like, why do I need to tune in every week to see these people? It's just Bo Dallas,
It's sanity with masks.
Great. It really is, honestly. It's sanity with masks with Bo Dallas as a leader. That's really what this is. And it's shitting on Bray Wyatt's legacy because it's not putting it in the best light, and it's not utilizing it to the best of its abilities. It's not giving these characters meaning. They're just there, and they were creations of Bray Wyatt, so we have to like it, and if you don't, then you hate Bray Wyatt. No. What we're saying is that we, the fans, deserve way fucking better than this. We deserve more effort to be told in these storylines, and if Triple H doesn't know how to tell the fucking story, hand it off to somebody who does.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is his ego cannot allow that. I mean, he wouldn't even let Brock ride this storyline, so that's just how it is.
No.
Instead, we get amazing additions, like fat fuck Bronson Reed added to this stable for no fucking reason. Now, for completely erase from your mind he was a part of the new bloodline. Erase that from your memory. That never existed. Now, he comes back and now he's a part of this stable. For whatever fucking reason.